Good morning. I'm Miss Danielson, Library Media Teacher here at Tremper. In this digital literacy lesson, we're going to talk about your digital footprint and how it shapes your future. Through today's lesson, you are going to be able to define the term digital footprint and explain how it can affect online privacy. You are going to analyze how different parts of our digital footprint can lead others to draw conclusions, both positive and negative, about who you are. And finally, you are going to reflect on what you want your digital footprint to be in the future and how you can monitor and shape your digital footprint. So let's start with this short video, and as we watch, I want you to think about what images are being used in the video and what they represent. All right, the first image that you saw was a magnifying glass, and that magnifying glass represents that we're always under a microscope. We're always being watched whether we know it or not. Then there was the lighthouse, representing how people can always search and look us up with our digital footprint on the internet. Then there was the copy machine, because anything we post can always be copied. Next, it was the people talking, because everything you say in a post can be shared. And finally, there was the stadium, because everything you post about can be broadcast to the world and shared publicly. So whatever you say online can be searched, copied, written down, shared, and can be broadcast to the world. So we have to be careful about what we're sharing on the internet. That is what a digital footprint is. Essentially, all the information online about a person posted either by that person or by others, intentionally or unintentionally. Like the images from the video show, a digital footprint can reveal a lot about someone and it can be shared widely. These images remind us that a digital footprint is persistent, meaning it lasts a long time. Our last keyword in this lesson is invisible audience, and that is anyone who can see information you post online, whether you intended for them to see it or not. For example, imagine a friend from elementary school you haven't talked to in years. They follow you on Instagram and is part of your audience. What if he shows your post to his mom or takes a screenshot to send to his cousin? Or what if you don't realize that your Instagram posts are getting saved and archived, and they pop up years later once you've forgotten about them? These are all examples of invisible audience that you probably weren't thinking about when you created the post. What we are going to do today is take on the role of an employer, somebody who hires people, and we're going to be producing a new web-based talk show for teenagers. Our job is to find a host. We have narrowed the applicants down to 2 candidates, Ileana and Drake. Our company research department has searched online to dig up information on these 2 candidates. We will find the results attached in the following slides, and we're going to make a decision on who we should hire. The first candidate is Ileana Williams. This is her personal statement with a picture that she submitted to the company applying for the job. She says, "Hey there, my name is Ileana. I'm 21 and I'm a huge fan of web TV. I rarely watch anything else. My friends are always telling me I should try to host a show with lots of viewers because, you see, I'm the best. In addition to being the sweetest girl you'll ever meet, I'm a talented cook and passionate about cooking. You should see my food blog. I think it's important for the host of web TV shows to have a talent so they can keep the audience entertained. In short, I'm funny, I'm cute, and down to earth. See picture. And I'm going to blow your socks off as the host of your new show. Can't wait to hear from you. Yours truly, Ileana Williams. P.S. Check out my blog." She seems like a pretty qualified applicant and seems like a very nice person to hire, but when the company did some digging, this is the first thing they found on her Snapchat story. It's a screenshot they found after searching her name, and it was added by a friend. And it's her, but she doesn't look anything like that picture. Her hair is different, and she's dressed differently, so she's showing a little bit of dishonesty in who she is through this photograph. Here's an example again. Here's a post from her blog in her About Me section. She posts about the food she's cooking. It looks good, looks professional, and that's awesome. She's being super honest. But if you follow her over to her Instagram page, someone comments, "Wait, isn't this pic of what you ordered at Mimi's Cafe last week?" So she's kind of being blasted by one of her friends on here on this photograph that she claimed that what she cooked was something that she in fact ordered from a restaurant. So she's again showing dishonesty over the internet, and her potential employers have found this. Last but not least, she redeems herself a bit. She posted a review to a website, and these are things that you often find when you search people's names. And it was a positive review. It was very kind. It wasn't meant to be negative. She said, "This frying pan is awesome. Love the nonstick surface. Really helpful for beginner cooks like me." But there are also some issues with this comment. She calls herself a beginner cook. She's bragging about having a cooking blog and being a very good cook in her personal statement, yet she comments she's a beginner cook. So all through a simple internet search, we found ways in which she's being dishonest when applying for this job. The next candidate's name is Drake Casey, and his personal statement is, "My name is Drake. I'm 23, born and raised in Boston, Massachusetts, best city ever, and I was made to be host of your new web TV show. As host, I'd love to show off my voice and inspire kids with a talent of my own. When I'm not out on the town with my friends or my wife, I'm singing with my band or at home hanging out with my cat Fur Monster. Beyond that, I spend a lot of time online watching videos and stalking people on my book." Just kidding. So in conclusion, pick me. I'm clearly the best choice. Sincerely, Drake Casey. So he says a lot of things. Born and raised in Boston, has a wife, sings in a band. He seems like somebody who would be really good to host a TV show. Very personable and friendly. Well, let's search his name and see what comes up. The first is an online news article from 2015 that represents Drake very negatively. He wasn't forthright and he wasn't honest about how in college he was kicked off of a sports team for taking steroids. Next, if you go to his Facebook page, here they call it My Book. Now, he said he's from Boston, Massachusetts, but on here it says he's from Malibu, California. He says he's married, but here his relationship status says single. He said he's in a band, But one of his friends comments, "Drake, baby, our lead singer just bailed and we need someone quick. I know you've given up singing, but I want to know if you could help us out." So he says he's in a band, but on here, it makes it seem like he's given up singing. Then we see he leaves a very negative review to a local online news article where he doesn't take blame for his actions of taking steroids, but he blames others. He says, "Interesting how teen athletes get blamed for trying to do their best at their schools, but their schools are super okay with pushing them to be winners. Cool how they like us to get trophies and don't care much about how we do it. It's only after someone calls us out that they get concerned. Then they throw us under the bus with no questions asked. Pitiful." He's not taking responsibility for the actions of his incident in college. He's blaming other people for things that he did, and he's leaving very negative comments online. And it's something that doesn't reflect well. Here is another where at least he's being a little bit honest. It does appear that he might have a cat named Fur Monster. So if you're an employer, what are some things you're looking for? Do they work well with others? Do they not work well with others? Are they honest? Are they dishonest? So let's compare the two. Works well with others. Well, Ileana teaches cooking class to high school students, so that's working well with others. Drake is or was in a band, and the posts and comments on his MyBook and Twitter profiles make him seem like a pretty outgoing and well-liked guy. Does not work well with others. Well, Ileana doesn't seem too humble, and in her personal statement, she brags about how great of a cook she is. Yet, according to most of her things, she's a beginner cook. And Drake, well, he was suspended from his college wrestling team, and it calls into question his integrity and sportsmanship. Is Ileana Williams honest? She's being honest in her blog, and her Instapic account demonstrates that she really does like cooking. Drake doesn't lie about everything in his personal statement. For example, he does live in Boston, and he does seem to have a cat named Fur Monster. And then there's a big part. Where were they being dishonest? Ileana may have lied about being a talented cook. There's a comment that makes it seem like she didn't actually cook the dish, and her picture, her Snapchat photo, is very different from the one that she sent. Whereas Drake, was he born in Malibu or Boston? Does he still sing in a band? And also, there's the whole college steroids scandal. So there's quite a few things surrounding Drake that make him seem dishonest. So what do you all think? If you had to hire one of these two people, which one would you hire? It turns out that neither person got the job, and the reason why neither person got the job was because of their dishonesty. When you post things on the internet, people can search them out, copy and share, and broadcast your posts. It paints a picture of who you are as a person. So the things you say and do online reflect on you. If you say something with your photo or name attached to it, it's with you forever. If you're posting inappropriate pictures, inappropriate messages, or sharing inappropriate things, it sticks with you. Someday you're going to apply for college or for a job, and they're going to search your name online and in social media, and those inappropriate things can pop up, and it may be hard for you to find a job or get into the college you want. So what I'd like you to do now is reflect on what you want your digital footprint to look like in 10 years. The internet does not define who you are. You define who you are, but the internet represents that. So make sure that you are aware of what you are posting online so you do not have any unfortunate incidents happen to you in the future, like running the risk of not getting the job you want, the scholarship you applied for, or get into the college of your choice.